Thank you for checking out crypto.chartguys.com, the source for technical analysis in the cryptocurrency world. We are proud to announce our own crypto alert system designed to give you the most critical technical trading information possible no matter where you are. Keep your eyes on the market with mobile or email alerts for MACD crosses, RSI levels, and even inside bar alerts for dozens of coins across multiple exchanges. New features and proprietary ChartGuys indicators are already in development. Our alert system is very easy to customize and utilize, so don't hesitate to sign up for the most effective crypto trading tool on the market at crypto.chartguys.com. Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. Before we get into the analysis of the big three, just want to extend an offer to anybody if you've got, any kind of Facebook group or any kind of YouTube channel, things like that. If you want to become an affiliate for either our courses or our alert system, we'd love to hear from you. Nothing better than mutually beneficial relationships where we sell courses, you profit from selling those courses, and people that take those courses and alert systems profit from them as well. It can be a win-win-win scenario. So if you're interested in the courses, email info@thechartguys.com. And if you're interested in the alert system, alerts@thechartguys.com. And so far, we've definitely been paying out, thousands of dollars to people in the past that have shared it with their YouTube channel. So if you have that means, go ahead and check it out. So let's get into the big three. We're also going to look at Ripple here. Let's start it off with Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is still bullish. So I gave my cautionary words in last video, and that still stands absolutely. But the market said, shut up, Dan, we're not done. And I said, okay, fine, we'll take some more profit. So the bulls kept running, and that's fine with us, but we have to continue to be aware that the more we run, the more the pullback is going to be. So once the tops are hit in these moves that have been lasting the last 4 or 5 days, we're going to pull back 20 to 30% very easily. And that's already happened in the short-term pullbacks we've seen in Ethereum and Litecoin just today. But I'm just speaking in terms of once the hype dies down a little bit, and even if it's healthy consolidation on the daily time frame, it's still going to pull back 20+%. So looking at Bitcoin on the daily, our higher low has been set. This 1400 base of support is where we were looking for the bulls to maintain. We saw the bullish reaction to the futures trading, and we're seeing follow through now. So I'm still watching out for the potential that this is going to be an equilibrium pattern on the daily. If anybody is going to negate an equilibrium pattern and just break out to new all-time highs, it's going to be Bitcoin or a cryptocurrency. If this were a stock, I would be way more confident that a lower high was coming. But we've got resistance at 19,697. And that's the only resistance right now, aside from the high of today, 18,150. So 18,150 and anything under 19,697, if we top out and then begin consolidating for a couple days, then we'll be looking for that equilibrium pattern. Too soon to say whether it's going to play out or not. It's just visually setting up for me. And if we see increasing bull volume tomorrow, that would likely negate it, and we're likely going to see a new all-time high. So on the 4-hour time frame, very healthy for the bulls and a complete turnaround. I've been trading all of the big three today. And one thing I want to point out about how the big three is trading is it's very clear to me that traders are running this market and they're behind this move. It's not investors. And why I say that, of course, there's investors involved, but you can see these moves happen one at a time. And that is such a gift for traders like me, where we can literally jump from one name, take profit after the breakout, and then jump into the other name. And you can see the volume and the breakout occurring where you know that everybody is doing the same thing that you're doing in terms of moving from one to the next. So earlier today, moved from Litecoin breakout to Ethereum, which then broke out, and then to Bitcoin, which then broke out. Literally 1, 2, 3, just like that. And that's how compounding profits really adds up quickly, by capturing multiple bull moves from different coins. So Bitcoin here, let's look at we have an inside bar forming on the 4-hour time frame. Definitely going to be keeping an eye on that. But the hourly chart just formed a new higher low. After some healthy consolidation, a lot of us played the break of 17,500. We'll look at that on a shorter term time frame, but this is now our key must-hold support for the hourly chart to stay in full control of the bulls. This level is 17,410. If we lose that level, we lose the higher low pattern. In terms of resistance, 17,920 is what we just hit, and then the high of this move, 18,150. So key support is now established. Bullish reversal hammer confirmed with some follow through on increasing bull volume. The bulls are still very much in control of Bitcoin. And if we break 17,410, we're looking at 17,000, and then this other higher low, 16,959. So let's zoom in a little bit more and see that breakout. Let's look at the 15-minute time frame. So we could see a double top, 17,490, 17,489. And if you're watching the order book, you could see a big wall at 17,5. So we patiently waited and watched the 5-minute time frame for the clear break. And let's look at that clear break. So that's our support line that's showing up here on the 5-minute time frame. But this is where the break occurred. Look at the volume. Bulls are slowly making their way up. I've been using stop buy orders when I'm not watching, or if I'm doing something else and don't want to miss the clear break that everybody's waiting on. And you don't want to put your stop buy order right after the resistance wall breaks, or you're going to get filled $100 to $200 higher. I've been putting my stop buy orders before walls. You risk the potential of hitting that wall and then we reject, but in such bullish conditions, the risk of that is greatly decreased. So I've been putting my stop limit buy orders to trigger before the walls, right before them when we get into momentum, and we break out. And look at this follow through. In 30 minutes, we went from 17,500 up to 18,150. I sold in the low $18,000 range. I was going to let it ride and hopefully see some all-time highs. What had me leave is what had everybody else leave on this candlestick, and that was an opportunity in other coins. At the same time that we were doing this, we were seeing Ethereum and Litecoin dump. So what was happening is people were selling Ethereum and Litecoin, jumping in on this Bitcoin break, and then as people sold those Ethereum and Litecoin, we dumped down to 5-minute oversold conditions. So then people exited Bitcoin and went right back to those names. So at this point in time, I was in Ethereum. I market sold for a small loss because my trade had not developed yet in Ethereum. I happily took that loss because I knew I would make back far more than that loss on this break of 17.5, which followed through. I then sold at the top because I saw the opportunity for the bounce setting up. And then I jumped into Litecoin and flipped Litecoin for $7. And I could have ended up holding it longer, but again, just going right from one to the other. So locking in $600 on Bitcoin and then $7 on a Litecoin flip, literally within 5 minutes of each other. And just the timing of how things is all playing out. Again, I want to emphasize it is traders running this market, jumping from one coin to the next. And you can see that the correlations right now are constantly shifting depending on where people are focused. And, you know, we have a chat room right now with 500 plus people. There's probably, you know, at any given time, 150 to 300 of us actively trading. So if we're all pointing things out and jumping on it, think of how many trading groups there are around the world that are doing exactly what we're doing. We are just one. And I know that there's millions of dollars in our group. So if you were to add up all the trading groups around the world that are trading these cryptocurrencies right now, you're going to have tens of millions of dollars jumping from one coin to the next. So here, just a shorter term image of Bitcoin. We broke resistance. And so now we're looking for higher lows and higher highs to continue up to 18,150 resistance. So this bull break right here, breaking these resistances where we topped out earlier, is significant to now have us looking back to test the high of the day at some point tonight. So bulls are just fine on Bitcoin, certainly in control, and certainly looking towards all-time highs and $20,000 potentially sometime in the next day or two. So let's now look at Ethereum. Ethereum on the daily, obviously a nice big bull break in continuation. We broke 600 psychological resistance. The 4-hour time frame, inside bars are forming. Watch these 4-hour inside bars. We got one on Bitcoin. We got two now on Ethereum. They've been giving some really nice signals. Look at these inside bars. Alert system was going off for 4-hour inside bars on this break. This break occurred at 542. So 542 breaks, and there's your signal. So tight range, tighter range, tighter range. Look at the volume spike. Look at the volume compared to the tightening candlesticks, compared to the breakout candlesticks. So it was game on at 542. We then hit the all-time high at 547, and the bulls did not look back. Hourly time frame, we did pull back very significantly, and this is the bounce that I was talking about that people were leaving that Bitcoin bull move for, and it was because we dumped down so significantly. We went from 638, and again, all these charts of the big three are always on Coinbase, but we went from 638 and we dropped down to 564. Let's see, that is a $74 drop, which is over 10% very quickly. And you can see it did take 3 hours to play out. Look at this inside bar bear break. Inside bar on the hourly, inside bar on the hourly. Bear break occurred at 612. If you got that alert on that bear break and exited at 612, you would have had the opportunity to flip and rebuy for $10, $20, maybe $30 cheaper. And then we bounced right back up. So the 15-minute time frame, V-shaped recovery. Right now, Ethereum's recovery is definitely stronger than Litecoin's, and Bitcoin didn't need to recover much because it was healthy hourly consolidation. So our must-hold support now is 564.31. If at any point in the next day or two we break 564.31, that's the top is in my opinion, for now. Obviously, I'm not calling the top in Ethereum, but I'm saying the top will be in for now if we break 564.31. We also have a higher low now to be watching, 606.77. Bulls want to maintain that level, and they're trying to form another higher low, 615.23. Because this candlestick is still developing, I'm not going to put a ton of weight into that low of 615.23. The important level is down here at 606.77 in the short term. Resistance, you can see we're tightening up here. We have lower highs on the hourly and higher lows. Ethereum is very close to a break right now, and there's things that I want to do, and I'm being hindered from doing them because I'm watching Ethereum. So 628 breaking is signal number 1 for the bulls. Signal number 2 is 632, and then 635. So 628 is something you can act on. If you get a break of 632 and 635, you know things are going great, and we're likely going to see a new all-time high. So that's where we stand on Ethereum in the tightening range. Let's look at the 5-minute time frame on the dump that took place. So we had our low of the pullback, and that was down at 607. And so look at the break of the inside hourly bars that occurred at 612. And that occurred right here. So we had a little bit of a heads up before the all-out dump occurred. It was only about a 5-10 minute heads up. But once that level of 607.03 broke, it was a waterfall effect. And at the same time, this is going on. So let's go back to Bitcoin on the 5-minute time frame. This right here, this action is correlated with this action. Inverse correlation. I sold right here. I sold, jumped into Bitcoin, and then I looked to play the Litecoin bounce, which was very similar here to Ethereum. So Ethereum's bounce was such a significant bounce. 564. Next thing you know, we are 10, 20, 30, about an hour and a half later, less than that, we're up at 635. So huge gains on these volatility moves. We've got a test of 628 coming. By the time I close down this video, and I said that last video, and I did enter Ethereum when I said, looks like I'm going to enter Ethereum, and it looks like I'm going to enter Ethereum again. We'll see if 628 breaks, and hopefully this video uploads in time, but uploading is very slow. Look at the inside or the price shear alerts sent out on the 15-minute time frame today for Ethereum. The first one was sent out at about in the upper 470s. We then consolidated after the breakout. Second leg up sent out at about the mid 530s. Breakout, huge move to the all-time high. We then dumped, hit our low, and our third price shear went off at about 570. So in the mid 570s. So just playing these price shears, let's say you were out today or at work or doing things where you cannot be watching the screen, these 15-minute price shears and knowing we are in a very bullish market are signals to get in. And I don't ever want to say, just blindly buy, but if you're not able to be sitting there staring at the chart and we're in blue sky breakout mode and you get these 15-minute price shears, that's pretty much as close to an automatic buy as you can get. And then, of course, you want to protect the trades. Last thing you want to do is be stuck in one of these 10% pullbacks in a half an hour. Of course, we recovered, but there's going to be a time once our temporary tops are hit that we are not going to recover from that 10% drop, and we have to be prepared for that. So Litecoin on the daily time frame, more of an upper wick is forming of profit taking after we saw a huge follow-through move. So a bigger run, meaning a bigger pullback. Look at these 4-hour inside bars. Look at the signal that we got. Inside bar alert went out at 266.69, bull break, huge follow-through. We now have multiple 4-hour inside bars forming again. These are key on Ethereum and Bitcoin and Litecoin now, all three forming this 4-hour inside bar pattern with a bit more consolidation for Litecoin and Ethereum as they have multiple inside bars, not just one. Litecoin on the hourly time frame, this is still very healthy consolidation. We are seeing the potential. You could call this a bull flag. I certainly wouldn't argue against that. Let's see if we can draw it real quick. I use the real bodies on my candlesticks. Pretty parallel channel right there. So that is a bull flag as far as I'm concerned. We've got the must hold support down here at the low of 315. And again, if we break 315, I'm very comfortable saying the temporary top is in for now. So that is our support level. In terms of resistance, the high of the bounce attempt recovery was up at 374.55. That's our resistance. So 374.55, wrong button. 374.55 is resistance. 315 is support. And we are looking for the bulls to form a higher low on this hour or this hourly consolidation for this equilibrium pattern. So high, low, lower high is the top of the bounce. We're looking to form a higher low compared to 315, and this should give us a nice tight pattern that is likely to break either late tonight, early tomorrow morning. Definitely going to be watching it. And again, cannot stress enough how much traders are loving that we are not directly correlated and having all of these coins run at the same time. Note that difference. Remember when we've seen in the past all three of these coins correlated and doing the same thing at the same time? That is not the case, which is why I am saying this is more traders and not investors. So we need to be cautious of that fact. People are not buying and holding up at these levels. And if they are, they're not really educated and they're just trying to rush in, and they definitely are acting on FOMO. So here on Litecoin, let's zoom in. 15-minute time frame, a little bit more clear equilibrium pattern. Look how clear these lower highs are. Lower high, we pulled back, the bulls try and bounce, rejected. Lower high, pulled back, the bulls try and bounce, rejected, rejected, rejected. I can easily pick out 5 lower highs of resistance on this 15-minute time frame, along with a couple higher lows, one of which is trying to form right now. But this was another scenario on the 5-minute time frame. Litecoin was dumping. So I got out of that Bitcoin trade. I jumped right into Litecoin when this candlestick started forming with this volume climax, and I was in at the mid 330s and out in the low 350s for just a short-term trade. And actually, I didn't get in. I was a little bit late. I actually got in the 340s. Either way, just short-term profit, continuing to lock it in. And this is one of the biggest days. I know we keep saying that, and everybody keeps saying that. One of the biggest days that we've had in terms of cryptocurrency profits. So again, congratulations to everybody. Never be afraid. You know, if you're a buy and holder or a swing trader, never be afraid to take a little bit off the table. Think of the odds of what's going to happen from these levels. You know, what are the odds that Litecoin is never going to see $360 again? Very, very slim. The odds that Ethereum is not going to see... Oops, I got a trade to make. Bingo. So now let's see if Ethereum can break out. We just broke resistance of 628. And now we're looking at 632 as the next resistance level to get some confirmation of follow through. Just getting a hold of my position and... All right, let's see what kind of follow through we can get from this move. And let's look at that on the 15-minute time frame, looking for a bull MAC decross and a new all-time high, really. And we'll see if we get that. So Ethereum, I lost my train of thought, obviously. I have no idea what I was talking about. And there's that follow-through. Spike in bull volume, bull MAC decross on the 5-minute. And we're looking good. So I'm going to have to keep an eye on that and monitor that trade. So I was on Litecoin is what I was on. So Litecoin dumped down, saw that fast bounce, and we saw a really nice recovery. So again, 15-minute equilibrium pattern playing out. And we will watch for a break of these inside bars. And again, same thing. If you are using the alert system and don't have a screen in front of you, it's going to tell you when these inside bars break and the direction that they break in. So there's a wall of resistance right now on Ethereum at 630. Not a significant wall, but if that breaks, I will be a lot more confident in this current trade. Let's look at XRP. XRP is finally seeing some profit taking just now. When I started this video, we were up at the highs. So look at what stands out to me. This is the weekly chart. It's a very similar equilibrium pattern that we saw in Ethereum that broke bullish at 350. So we had multiple tops, double tops. We had a double top at 30 cents. We had a double top at 2815. The first signal, a more high risk, high reward trader, well, really the first signal is this daily inside bar or this weekly inside bar. So the weekly inside bar broke bullish at 256. That's bull signal number 1. Bull signal number 2 is the break of the last double top at 2815. And a more cautious trader is going to wait for a clear break at 30 cents. From there, we were looking at the all-time high. Bull certainly saw that follow through. There's been some hype and rumors. Just read a tweet about, Coinbase is adding XRP. And then the tweet with the evidence of that did not look convincing at all. So you just need to be cautious of that. This kind of move, extremely overbought. And the 4-hour time frame, starting to see profit taking. Volume climax on the 4-hour time frame is very likely. RSI is a lot less meaningful in blue sky breakout, but it was still up in the upper 90s. That's certainly pushing it. The hourly time frame, volume climax is approaching. Big upper wick of profit taking. 15-minute time frame. So we need to establish a new higher low. Nice bull break of this 15-minute inside bar. That came at 375. Next thing you know, we're up at 49. So all of these inside bars on all of these time frames, cannot stress enough how great of an indicator they have been over the last 6 months that we've been utilizing them in this space, and now it's 7 months. So we need a higher low on the 15-minute time frame, and there's that break of Ethereum 630, so that's looking really good now. So XRP, anything above 351 is the goal for the bulls to form a higher low, and we're looking for a higher low. Right now it's at 416. We'll see if that holds. Not very convinced that it will hold at this point, but that's the level we're watching, and of course the all-time high 536 is resistance. So the 5-minute time frame consolidating, and this run's not over yet unless we see a 15-minute lower high and lower low. Then I'll be confident saying the top is in for now, but that is not the case right now. Let's check back in to wrap this up. I'm talking way too much, and let's look at this hourly time frame. 15-minute time frame for Ethereum looking better and better. Break 635 and an all-time high is almost a sure thing. So I'm going to put this out. Unfortunately, couldn't get this out in time for people to see that break and act on it. But hopefully some of you that are learning technical analysis on your own and watching these videos were able to pull that off. And I will see you all tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. And again, for those affiliates, if you're interested in doing that, send us an email. We'd be happy to work with you.